1, go.
What's up, guys? Coach Jimmy here with Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about, who knows? We have Coach Bam Bam, Miss Taylor, Trev.
Trev's back.
Trev is back.
Woo, woo!
All right, guys. So Trevor was out with COVID for a little while. How was that?
My bad. It wasn't as bad as other people have had it. Mine felt more like a severe ear infection and sinus infection combined together. So I felt like I was half dead most of the days, but I mean, I got over it in like a weekend. Whereas like I had a relative that just passed away from getting it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, we went to his funeral last weekend and it was like instant, like it got him and he was out.
Oh my!
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
That kind of sucks.
That definitely makes sense. Why, when I asked you how you were feeling when you walked in, you went, "I'm alive." Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, I just couldn't breathe when I had it. That was just it. That was it. I just couldn't breathe.
I just had a stopped up nose and like I felt like I got shot repeatedly, like right here in my brain.
Oh.
That's actually how I feel every time I get a sinus infection. And I have taken antibiotics. This was my third run this last time. And in a short amount of time, I had it, 21 days? Is that what it was, Taylor?
I think so. And a shot.
This last time I got a steroid shot and antibiotics. I still have a sinus infection. I'm to the point that like I'm trying weird stuff.
Did they give you a Receptor shot?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know they give me that every time when I go in for my sinuses.
Dude, didn't help me at all. Did not help me at all.
I feel good the day I get it and like the next day, but then the following day, like I get knocked down again.
Dude, when I say it did not help me at all, none of the antibiotics helped me at all. I just felt worse. And like I felt horrible. Like I felt so bad to the point that I went and got 2 different COVID tests trying to see if I had COVID. I was like, man, I'm dying. And then my COVID tests were negative.
Was it the Rapids or they sent them off?
We had the Rapids both times, but we also had the first time they done blood work on me, but it wasn't just for COVID. They were testing me for other things. So.
I still think you had COVID, but they say like it don't show up sometimes till like the backside of it. Like I told you when I got tested, I could hear a woman in the next room say like it was a week and a half after like her 4th test.
Oh wow.
4th or 5th test before she tested positive. Like she was on the downside, like bouncing back before she even tested positive.
Dude, I went and had was where they stick the needles in you.
Acupuncture.
Yeah.
I went and had acupuncture trying to get rid of
that.
I literally went and had acupuncture trying to get rid of the sinuses. Like I was trying everything. I had my head laid back with hot like warm compress on my sinus on my face. I was sitting in the shower with the hot water just like straight on my face. We went and Taylor bought me a humidifier, like one of the good humidifiers with like the inserts and the filters, and so much so that like I was like, oh, I guess I'm done.
I think the acupuncture made you feel better though, didn't it? You seem to be better these last 2 days.
Well,
3 days.
So it's one of those things, like right when I left from there, my sinuses were drier. Like my nose was completely dry. I'm not going to say it was better, but it dried me out. And the lady said that I was damp. And I said, damp? What do you mean? She was like, oh, in my profession, it's called damp. Like you have a swampy stomach. Like you're really damp. Like all of your, she called it something, but like your sinuses, your stomach, everything's damp because your body's creating a lot of mucus. And it's not coming from your sinuses, it's coming from your stomach. So she treated me like with the needles for my stomach. And it did dry out my sinuses to the point like I can breathe through my nose today. But acupuncture isn't the only thing that I've done. I also started taking vitamins. Thrive vitamins. And I've quit drinking energy drinks several times. And every time I quit, I get really bad headaches. I go through withdrawals, and I have to ease myself off of them. I hadn't had an energy drink in 3 days, and I've had a light headache because of it. I haven't eaten honey bun. We hadn't eaten cheese or honey buns in 2 days.
Yeah, it's killing me slowly. Y'all know how hard it is to cut out cheese? Cheese.
Yeah?
Yeah. Cheese is my favorite thing.
Well, for me,
No more cheese for us.
cheese is one of my favorite things to eat.
You can eat cheese. You just can't.
But when I cook, like, what would be the point in me cooking something that has cheese all over it just for me?
Well, if you like cheese that much, I mean, I just like getting like the big block of cheese and cutting off a piece and eating cheese.
No, I do that. Or the string cheese.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just get you some of that. You ain't got to cook with it, but you still have to snack.
I guess
Or you could make like a separate thing, like of just cheese to put on whatever you cook for you, so you can do it later. That way, y'all both still have the same thing. You just add your cheese to it later.
Like, don't
Yeah.
cook with the cheese. Just pour it over after it's already made.
Right.
But the stuff that I make with cheese, like I make a homemade Alfredo sauce, which he's supposed to stay away from dairy completely. So I can't use my heavy whipping cream. I can't use the cheese, the Parmesan cheese, cream cheese. So I told him, I said, I guess we just in this thing together.
I guess y'all can't eat those little solders that I make.
Oh
Oh my god.
no.
It has Swiss cheese on it.
Oh no. I can still eat those.
And it has butter. Ain't butter dairy?
Mm-hmm.
It has a whole lot of butter.
I can eat them.
You're like, all right, babe, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
These solders, I'm eating them. Like, I already took onions out the ingredients for you. You may take cheese and butter out too. You just have ham sandwiches.
Nah,
It
bro.
would not be the same.
I'm gonna make an exception sometimes. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of it for the majority of the time, but I am definitely going to make an exception for certain things, for certain special occasions. She was just saying basically that's why I'm there, because dairy creates more mucus.
It does. That's why you're not supposed to, when you're sick, especially sinuses and stuff, you're not supposed to drink milk, eat ice cream, nothing like that. Because if you have salt up nose or runny nose, you're not supposed to any kind of dairy because it will make it worse.
I did not know that.
I did, because I was stupid one time. I was sick, and it was one of those, like I actually had the flu or something. I was sick for 3 or 4 days, and I wanted something sweet, and I made like a homemade milkshake or something. Like the coldness, like it helped my throat too. And my sister's like, "You are so stupid." I'm like, "Yeah," like my nose, like immediately it just got worse. She goes, "Yeah, because of the milk in it, dummy." So that
Makes it more bad.
On a positive note, Bam Bam and I both got new puppies last week.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a pen tomorrow, and we're gonna start bringing dogs to the gym. They can hang out.
I intentionally didn't include Jimmy in that because he says she's my dog.
But you've already started bringing yours to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just iffy about bringing mine because I like coach all the kids class and like take an adult class. I don't want to have to constantly go check on them.
Go watch him, yeah. I understand that. That's why I brought her little kennel. If I can't be right there with her, I just stuff her in there. But the parents love them some puppies. They'll watch him.
They did. Wendy already volunteered. Like, I'll watch them.
Yeah.
Well, what about adult class? You leave before then.
Right. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't mind them being here. I don't mind having the dogs here. I do not like dogs that go, "Arr, arr, arr," and like, if they start doing that, y'all already know like how distracted I get. It's gonna be annoying. I'm like, nope, let them out. Like, y'all gotta do something. I don't dislike our dog. I actually love her, but she started liking me more. Just so the world knows, the dog followed me everywhere and like would like lay on my arm and do all this stuff. Taylor started getting mad at me and taking it out on me because the dog took to me more. So now I'm shunning the dog. I'm like, no.
No, you aren't.
I'm like,
you
no.
snuggle with that baby.
I'm like, no, get away. And Taylor's like, why are you being so mean to her? And I'm like, because she's going to end up liking me more, and then my girlfriend's going to be mad at me. That's why.
Have y'all done the thing yet with Hit and Missy, where you stand and then run separate directions to see who they go to?
Missy wouldn't go to anybody. Missy would sit there and wait for one of us to come back.
She would just stare at us like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Prima donna.
But Hit would freak out. He would run back and forth to both of us.
Like anxiety. Like.
Yeah.
He would probably go grab his toy first and then start running.
He would go to her first, though.
And circle me.
He would go to her, circle her, and come back to me. Mm-hmm. And then he'd look at me like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But
they're so funny.
Hit's smart, dude. Hit is so smart. Today, I was like, let's go get in the bathtub. And I give him a bath like once a month, once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So about every 3 weeks, I give him a bath. So, but I was like, go get in the bathtub. And he just dropped his head and he looked at me like,
he knew as soon as you took his collar off. He took his collar off and Hit went.
And I said, go get in the bathtub. And he walked in there and he looked at me and he just stepped over in the bathtub and stood there like he was supposed to. He's so freaking smart, dude. Mm-hmm. He'll play catch. He'll play fetch. He'll play tug of war. You tell him to go home before we leave. He kennels up. Like, we don't have to do anything. We open the door. He goes outside into the pen where we leave him. We open that gate. He goes inside. Such a good dog. Like, I haven't ever had a dog that was so, like, well behaved and, like, knew what the hell you was telling me. Like the crumb thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got, which, for all of our Eastman people listening, if you are a dog fan, go to Oliver and Friends Boutique because they have the best dog stuff in there. We took Scrump in there yesterday, and I got them these little homemade dog treats, and it was like a little donut cookie thing. Well, of course I had to get all 3 of them, but I gave it to Hit, and it just crumbles whenever they bite it, and crumbs went everywhere. And Jimmy said, go lick up your crumbs, and he went in there and licked up his crumbs. And then he circled back around, and Jimmy said, I think I still see 3 crumbs in there, and he went in there and ate the rest of them.
And then she told him, she was like, she told me, I'm not going to give her all of this.
Talking about Scrump.
Scrump. I'm not going to give her all of this because it's too much for this little puppy. And he was just sitting there. And I said, well, eat her crumbs too. And he ate her crumbs. And then he sat there and waited for her to give him the other half. Like, he knew what was up. Like, It was, like, if he didn't know what we were saying, it's very, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was very strange how well he interpreted or he did exactly what we were asking. And it's all the time with covers, with his covers, with his kennel, with outside. He's just a very, very smart dog. Mm-hmm. And Nugs is like, are you going to feed me? And you're like, no. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go lay down. When you get ready to feed me, I'll be back. Mm-hmm. And that's her. She greets me at the door, though. She gets up and says, hey, man.
You got to rub that salt in the wound, don't you?
Yeah. She gets up. When I get home, she gets up. She meets me at the door. She goes, what's up, man? I go, what's up, Nugs? And pat her head. And then she's on. Like, she goes on about her business. She don't do that to Taylor.
She will not greet me at the door, and I'm the one that feeds these dogs. I let them out. And Missy was my dog before I even knew him.
So we have Hit and Miss, and we didn't know each other. Mm-hmm. Like, our dog's name's Hit and Miss. Believe that. Well, anyway, our dogs are awesome. We got Scrump now.
Yeah, I just got the 2 dogs, Luna and Link.
You got any pups?
I got 3. I got 2 labs. They're brothers and sisters. One's mine. One's my dad's and my sister's. They like to share it. And the other is my family's dog. So like, we need a little dog too besides 2 labs. We need a Jack Russell. Jack Russells are mean to anything else that walks and gets attention. They will, like, I've seen it victimize 2 labs that are older than it.
My cousins, they had Jack Russells. That's the breed dog that they just always get. And they were always, first one they had was nice. Like, it just a good dog.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was more temperamental, but getting older. But they were smart. Like, they lived in Florida in like a neighborhood, and cars constantly going. They live in a cul-de-sac, so dead end road. Cars would come and go, come and go. All of a sudden, you hear them start going crazy. A car just turned onto the road. They live like 5 houses down. They knew that car was coming to their house.
That's
Weirdest
nuts.
sign.
That's strange.
It is very strange.
Was that Jack Russell's?
Yes.
Dude, my Papa John, he passed away back in November. Was it November?
February. Your grandma passed away in November.
Oh, so it was my okay, I had the dates mixed up. But anyway, so my Papa just passed away. He had a Jack Russell that went everywhere with him. But that little Jack Russell, like, the horses would get out, and that little Jack Russell, he'd let him out of the truck. He rode around in a little truck. He'd let him out of the truck. Now, Jack Russell would round up the horses and get them back in the fence.
I like Jack Russells. They're just a breed of dog with my lifestyle. They're too hyper. I can't have a dog like that.
Understand.
Because I had a chance to get a Boykin Spaniel, and that's a pretty dog. Again, too hyper. I just couldn't do it with my lifestyle. Like, so I got an outside dog, Luna, and she's good. Like, she was a stray that just came up. I think she got some pit in her, some chow, but she knew how to fetch. Like, never told her. And I got her trained now to where she has to sit down before I feed her, so she easy to train. I'd let her in the house more if she didn't shed so much. It's crazy how much she sheds. When she was mangy when I got her, I cleaned her up a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You've done a good job with her. She doesn't even look like the same dog anymore.
Yeah. So, and Link, talking about you don't like puppies that whine. The only time I've heard him whine is I keep him in the bathroom when it's the morning time to let me out. He whines and barks. Let me out, and then I'll let him outside. And after he uses the bathroom, I'll let him stay out and play and stuff, and I'll go back inside. And when he's ready to come in, he'll get up on the porch and come to the glass door and start barking and pawing at the glass door like, let me in. So he's already learned that, like, because he can't climb up, I don't think, one set of steps, but the other set of steps he can. So when he's ready to come in,
he gets up there.
He gets up on the porch and he'll come to the glass door and, like, paw at it.
That's so
and start
funny.
barking and whining, like, let me in.
Yeah, Scrump, she whines whenever she wants to go out. Like, if she's in her kennel, she's like, hey, I have to go potty. She'll whine.
I ain't got my train like that yet.
Well, she doesn't yell at me the way she yelled at him. She yelled at Jimmy the other day because he wasn't paying her any attention. Like, he sent me a video of her, and she's just screaming at him. She's not barking, and she's not whining. She's, like, talking to him, like, screaming. And I was like, what did you do to her? He said, I didn't pick her up. I was like, well.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea.
I just thought, talking about bringing dogs to the gym, I thought it'd be cool because they're brother and sister if they could play with another dog like the same size, because y'all had the 2 bigger dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I have the 1 bigger dog. Like, our puppies are the smaller ones.
Well, let's be real. We have a really big dog. He's like 100 pounds. He's like 90 to 100 pounds. And we got Nugs. Nugs is like a half a foot tall. She's like 70
Don't you do that
pounds
baby
up.
that way.
She's like 70 pounds, half a foot tall.
She's like 40 pounds. Don't you do that baby that way.
That baby got a big belly, bro. A big belly.
Compared to the puppy, is a big dog.
Yeah, compared to the puppy, she is way bigger than the puppy.
But the puppy will get way bigger than her.
Yeah.
But right now, no. It's one of them things like big sister, little brother. Keep picking on him. Pretty soon he'll be bigger than you.
Well, the thing is Nugs just is like, leave me alone. She don't be mean. She's not mean to her. She's not nice to her. She's just like, hey.
Indifferent.
Leave me alone.
Except Scrump did bite her tail one time, and Nugs was not having that.
Yeah, she was like, bark. and Scrump run to hit and hit under his legs.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, so let's talk about some coaching and stuff like that. I've been helping a couple of gym owners this week, and I was talking to a gentleman today from Ohio. I'm actually going to do a seminar there soon, maybe, if we can work it out.
In Ohio?
In Ohio. I have not mentioned this to Taylor yet. This is the first she's heard about it, because all of this happened within the last 2 hours.
I was going to say, I think he does this sometimes to have a witness.
I think he does too. I think it's like, I'm going to say this on the podcast where she can't yell at me.
We can get your live reaction.
Yeah. It's like, she's not going to act crazy on the podcast.
I'm found out. They got me. Nah, but so I haven't told this person that I would yet. I haven't told them that I would do this yet. I haven't committed to anything. But there was a couple of things that stood out to me, and there was a couple of things that I wanted to address to the world and kind of like let everybody like know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So first, I did a live video today about selling yourself short, not charging enough or not valuing what you do enough, and not I guess not presenting yourself or caring about the years of work that you put into something to get to where you want to be. This person messaged me and they was like, "Hey, I don't want to see any kids left out. We're opening a gym. A tree fell and like knocked a hole in the roof of the gym. It's like, I want to raise some money to get some mats for these kids, and so that we can start something and have more kids in our wrestling program." And my response, which is what my response would usually normally be to something like that, like they was asking for a donation, which I wouldn't mind if it's going to help some kids get some mats and stuff like that. If I had the money, of course, we could do that. But I told him, like, you cannot do this for free. And he was like, "Well, I'm having trouble getting people in, getting parents involved and stuff like that." And I was like, "That's because it's free." So 100% because it's free. And he was like, "Huh?" And I was like, let me, you can't do something like this for free, because then people will not value it. If they're getting it for free, they do not value it. And if they do not value it, they're not going to care for it. They're not going to nurture it. It's not going to grow into anything. I said, at the bare minimum, the kids that can't afford like a membership, you need to be taking them as a team to go clean up a road, or like mandatory, go help a business. Maybe go to a business one day, like a local business, and help them clean up or clean out their parking lot, or do something that is making them have to work for what they're getting. You cannot allow them to have it for free. And they was like, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense. You know, I like the way you change your thinking and stuff like that." I think that's where a lot of people fail. It's such a good thing for them to want to do. They want the poor kids, the kids that don't have as much. I was one of those kids. Without Miss Lott, I would have never been able to do taekwondo. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have any money. We didn't have the money, dude. Like, we went without electricity and stuff a lot. Like, I'm not bad mouthing. My family did the best they could to get us anything that we needed. We never really did without a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't have a great childhood, but I didn't have a bad one. The point is that the things that I needed in my life, the things that I had to work for it, I had to earn it, and it made me appreciate it so much more. And I think that the kids that are here now at that place aren't valuing it because it's free. Because it's just like, oh, I get to go. It's kind of like being able to go to the Girls and Boys Club or whatever, or like a place where everybody, like the park. How come the parks aren't just overrun with people and crowded? Because you can go there whenever you want. That's why it's not overrun. If you put a limit on a park and said only 10 people at a time, it would make it more valuable, and people would be trying to game the system to say, hey, look at me. I got in the park. I'm the 12th person or the 11th person or whatever. It would 100% be that way because now it's valuable. That makes sense?
It will. Segue. I noticed the past couple podcasts, have we had a train come through? I don't remember hearing a train. I hear it tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. We have not had the train.
No, we hadn't.
But you can't hear it anyway anymore.
You can't?
No, because what I've done is I digitally boosted our sound and made the mics less sensitive.
Okay.
So on the Rodecaster Pro, the mics are actually turned down, and then the gain, I boosted the gain on the OBS up, and I boosted the gain through Windows, so it's digitally.
Well, I'm not crazy. Like, it's been a while since we've had a train, and it used to always be on Thursday night.
Yeah, well, it's every night around the same time.
Okay.
And I used to sleep up here. Like, this was where I stayed for a little while, and it comes through about every 3.5 hours. There's a train. At night, not during the day.
Right.
But at night, you have like a 10 o'clock train or 11 o'clock train, somewhere around in there. Then you have like a 12:30, 1 o'clock train. And then you have like a 2:30 or 4 o'clock train. And then you'll have a 6 o'clock train. And then you'll have like one train during the day. But usually the trains run through here at night.
You know, if I didn't mind being like away from home like long periods of time, I think it'd be cool to be like a
conductor?
A conductor or something. One thing though I learned, like it's like one of them facts that you never think about. But they did an interview with a conductor and he goes, you have no idea how many wild animals we hit. He goes, that's the worst part of my job, cleaning up the train. Because we hit so many wild animals.
Seems like they would just have a crew of people to clean trains.
Maybe they do, but still, someone has to clean that train. He says they hit a ton of wild animals that just hang out on tracks.
So, you know the big rocks that are beside the tracks?
Yeah.
I lived up the road. Me and the twins used to run and catch the train and ride it into Fitzgerald and hang out all night, all day to skip school. And then we would run and catch the train and ride it back to Douglas. And
you would catch it like when it was going through town when it was slower?
Yeah, they would. It wasn't running 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They always slow down and do like their loading and stuff right there. And we would catch them. We didn't do it a ton. We done this. We done it enough. But getting off of it sucked. Because you would tuck and roll. You would hit and have to roll.
But I bet that was
because
cool,
they don't just slow.
Like
down.
I see that as like a back road, you know, just back country on the track. I think that'd be cool.
Oh, but what started my story was those rocks.
Yeah.
We used to take those rocks, those big rocks, and line them up and watch the train crush them and turn them to powder. Well, Brandon works for the train now. And I asked Brandon, I was like, do those rocks cause derailments? He was like, nah, not really. Because I was like, man, it seems like those rocks would cause derailments. They don't, though. The trains usually just bust them, or
you have to have something
like,
more sturdy that would pop it off the track.
Yeah, those things usually just get pushed off or popped or like boom, and they shoot off. Because I was wondering about that, like how many trains could we have caused to wreck? And I asked him because he works for it. That's what he does now, is he handles derailments. That's his whole job. I don't know much about his job, but he used to like go and fix track, like swing a hammer. Now he handles derailments. So that's all I know about his job. But I asked him this question because of the rocks that I used to leave on the tracks.
We did pennies. We did like any other kid. We did pennies, flattened pennies.
Yeah.
We used to walk up. I have friends that lived in Griston, and we'd walk up to the tracks there, and you couldn't ever find all of them because they stick. So you had to do like a row of 10, and you might find 3 or 4 because they would stick to the wheel of the train and get carried a little bit.
And then thrown. Yeah.
So you have to use 10 because you're not going to find all 10.
Gotcha.
You'd only find a couple.
So I was definitely terrified of trains until I hung out with John and Brandon, like we run and caught one, because you always see on the cartoons that's how the bad guys get you. They tie you up and leave you laying on the track.
Yeah, that train scared Scrump too. She just hid her face under the covers.
All right. So we went off a little bit, but talking about coaching.
Yeah.
Devaluing yourself or undervaluing yourself. Not devaluing, but undervaluing yourself. When you see people that do jiu-jitsu, like how many people are you around that do jiu-jitsu now that are really good at jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know?
I mean, you talking about like people I train with, like how many people I'm around, like other gyms too, like
Period. Yeah. Like a lot, right?
Yeah,
it's your lifestyle now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you know a lot of people that are pretty good at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
You know a lot of people that you can learn jiu-jitsu from.
Yes.
Me too. And for a little while there, I was like, oh man, I didn't realize that like my years put in or the time that I put in, how much that was worth. And so when I first opened my gym, I wasn't charging what I should charge. And I've heard people say, oh, when I was doing this or when I had that done, I was only charging this. They're robbing people. They're charging too much. Or I've heard people say that about our school. And then I've heard people say that about other things. Well, I don't want to charge too much. But my whole level of thinking and my whole type of thinking has changed a lot since I opened. So the person that I was talking to today, I asked this. It was a different person, but same concept. Same. It's about a gym. I was coaching him, and I said, "So let me ask you something. Right now, you're worried about money, right? You're worried about how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to pay your lights. You're worried about how you're going to pay your bills at home, right?" He's like, "Well, yeah." I said, "Okay. Do you think that you are a better coach while you're worrying about all that stuff? Or a better coach that if you didn't have to worry about all that stuff, you could focus on coaching? Which would be better?" And I'll ask you guys, which one do y'all think would be better? Someone that's worried about whether or not they're going to be open next month, or someone that only has to focus on being a good coach? Which one do you think is going to be better?
I'm going to go with the one that only has to focus on being a coach.
What about you, Bam?
I agree.
Taylor?
Ditto.
All right, why did y'all say that? Is it because of the way I preface the question, or is it because
it's kind of the way you preface the question, but also, so the way it was explained to me, like when I was in college, and it makes a whole lot of sense. You have like personal life and like your work life, career. And then, think of a shoebox split in half: work life, personal life. And then in each half, you have cups, like personal life, family, friends, like stuff like that. Work life, like something to do, got to pay this bill, things like that. Well, if one cup starts getting full, it's going to fill over into your other cups. And then now this side's going to start bleeding over into the other side, fill those cups up. So if you're getting overwhelmed in one spot of your life, it's going to start bleeding throughout your life. And if you're worried about bills, it's going to bleed into your coaching and stuff.
Right. So if I'm worried about those things and it's bleeding over into it, I'm not going to be as efficient as if I didn't have to worry about those things. We say this in our kids program all the time, and dude, it's so true. Where focus goes, energy flows. And if my energy is flowing towards what I'm focused on, which is all the stuff that I'm worrying about, then I'm not going to be a very good coach. I may still be a better coach than a lot of coaches, because there's different levels of coaches. But if I'm having to worry about whether or not we're going to be here or not, my focus isn't going to be on making you the best athlete that I can make you. My focus is going to be like, how the hell am I going to pay these bills so that I can continue running this business? Right?
And then on top of that, you might get into like negative mindset of ways to advance your business. Like, I need to get as many kids or people as I can in here to help make it where I can make it. I don't care what they learn. I just need as many people as I can.
And now what you're teaching is watered down.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So now we're running this McDojo or this meal where we're just trying to make ends meet or whatever, just get as many people in, this and that, and it just waters everything down. Dude, when I stopped charging what I was charging and started actually charging what I was worth, my life changed, completely changed. I didn't have to work a 40-hour work week anymore at another job. I got to start focusing on the people in my school. The people in my school got better. You know why? Not better as far as jiu-jitsu and stuff. They were pretty good before, right? The actual culture inside the school got better because now they're not feeling all this tension and all this other stuff from me. You see what I'm saying? And now this became a place that you actually got rid of stress instead of a place that I was causing more stress around my friends and the people that was involved. If you're not charging enough for it to be a legitimate business, for it to make it, then you're going to breed the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude, and like you were saying, you're going to have the wrong type of culture. And you're not ever going to get anything out of that that's worth having. It's not going to be tangible. It's just going to be constant worry, constant stress. You're going to shorten your life until it fails. Dude, I was a part of a group, and I've said this before on here. I was part of a group. There was 93 gyms in the group. It was like 93. There's 14 of us left after COVID. I'm very proud that my school is one of the 14. I'm very upset that the rest of the gyms closed because I want to see the jiu-jitsu go into the world. But like one guy like closed the school and started cooking to-go plates, like barbecue stuff, and that was like his fallback plan. And that's another thing that I talk about. There's no plan B for me. I feel like if you're putting energy into plan B, then you're expecting plan A to fail. There should never be a plan B, ever. Because if you're spending energy on a plan B, that's energy you could have spent on plan A making that shit work. So you can't have a plan B. You got to go all in. You got to make yourself uncomfortable so that you can push yourself and push to make it. And then you have to do the work. You have to study. You have to put yourself around people that are doing what you want to do. And then you have to try to do it better than they are doing it, so that you can get more known and get the more recognition and do all that. And it sucks because it turns out like I feel like successful people breed successful people. If your circle is trash and they're all negative mindset and they're all I can't catch a break or whatever you want to call it, like that's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to start seeing. And I've seen it in my own life. In my own life, I've seen that. And I fought tooth and nail to get away from that mindset. And then my health starts failing. I start getting sick, and then my health starts coming back. And I'm like, shit, dude. I realized I was falling back into those same traps. And you got to reset yourself and realign yourself with goals and surround yourself around people that are going to put you back. I've never seen a successful person, someone that's super successful, keep stepping down on someone else. Never seen it. Usually, if you ask them, they'll help you. And it's usually the people underneath you that want to talk shit about what you're doing. It's usually the people that are maybe feel like they're on a level playing field with you that's talking shit about you. It's always on your space or below you where the hate comes. It never comes from anybody that's actually above you. If someone's talking shit about you, it's almost 100% coming from someone that's either at the same playing field with you that don't want to see you surpass them, or someone that's underneath you, trying to belittle you and bring you back down to where they are. So what started the whole thing was about coaching, and that's what the last week I have been trying to convince people. Everyone that I've talked to in the last week, it's funny, man. I get paid to coach people. And every single person that I have sat down with and talked to, it was hard to convince them that they are worth what I'm telling them they're worth. It's hard to convince people that they are worth more money than what they think they're worth. And the reason is, in my mind, or what I think the reason is because you have people that are, that you know that you feel like are better than you at what you're doing. Trevor, you edit. You're an editor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you're an editor. How many people do you know that edit, though? A lot, right? Like,
a lot.
You know a lot of people. Do you know people that are really fast with it, or that are like?
I know people I consider better than me on it.
Right. And Bam Bam, you're around jiu-jitsu people, and you do computer stuff at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know people that are really good at what you do that you feel like you go to for answers?
Yes.
Right. So when Taylor, you're like a salesperson, like a closer, and you do things that, like, you close for here at the school. You set appointments here at the school. You set appointments and close at Doc's office at Beard and Chiropractic, right?
I do.
Do you ask other people questions, like people that you think that? Do you know people that do this job better than what you do?
Oh yeah.
That's my point. I know people that are way better fighters than me. I know people that are way better at jiu-jitsu than me. I feel like I'm top 3%. I feel like the way that I break things down and the way that I teach things is just different than everyone else. But I also know these guys that I would never try to teach anything to. So when I'm around them, I want to learn from them. You know, I want to tell them what I'm doing, not because I'm trying to show them what I'm doing. I want to show them and tell them what I'm doing so they can tell me, like, hey, that's cool, but do it this way. Or this is where you're making a mistake. Do it this way. I'm not showing them what I'm doing to show them how I do it, like, out of ego. When I go to those people, I'm definitely trying to learn from them. But my point is that I know people that are straight killers, that are phenomenal fighters, great grapplers. And then there's me. I've never won a world title in BJJ. I've never won a belt in MMA. I haven't done these things, but I'm teaching it. I'm mentoring people that will, for sure. You know what I mean? And there's value on that. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been around people that's in the UFC. I've trained with people that's been in the UFC regularly. I've trained with people that's been in Bellator. I've been around pro fighters. I've been around amateur fighters. I've been around the best of the best and all these people. And that's worth something, right? So when I'm trying to coach and get people to start buying into themselves and start trying to believe in themselves and it's because I experienced it myself. I've been around these people, and I felt that pressure, like, who am I to teach anybody anything? Because there's people that are better. I'm sure you guys have been around people that are better editors, better appointment setters, or closers, or better computer guys, or better jiu-jitsu guys. You've been around those people, so it makes you feel like, well, what I'm doing is easy. It's not hard to do. Teaching jiu-jitsu to me is not hard. Well, it's because I've been doing it for how long?
20 years.
Exactly. So it's not hard to me. But you take someone else that wants to teach jiu-jitsu that's never done it. How hard is it, Taylor?
It's really hard. It's really hard.
Bam? Is that hard to you?
Not as much now as when I first started.
And how long you been doing it now?
Coaching?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been over a year.
It's been over a year. I would say...
I'll just put this out there. You took over the kids program fully without my help. I have not helped you in over a year. It was June of last year.
Yeah.
So you've been coaching before that, but
right.
You've had your entire own program that's your own thing for over a year. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People will pay to learn how to run a program the way that we run that program. It's valuable. It's valuable the way we break it down. It's valuable the way we do it. It's valuable the way we do our adult program. It's all valuable. But you probably don't value it as much because you have me. Like, you see how I do it.
Yeah, I base all my coaching off of you. I coached the way I was coached.
But that's
still coached.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is my point, is like people tend to undervalue themselves. And this was my whole point. People tend to undervalue themselves simply because they are around people that are capable or better at doing what they do. So it makes them underestimate or undervalue what they're doing. Painters do it all the time. They're around painters all the time. They're around people that can paint rooms all the time. And they'll go, oh man, it's only going to take me like 3 hours to paint that wall or whatever. And so they're like, oh, it's 3 hours. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it for this amount of money. Right? They're looking at it like, oh, that's easy. It's only going to take this amount of time. But it's only easy to them and their group of friends. Throwing someone on their back, taking someone down is very easy to me and my group of friends. We can take down majority of the world. It's pretty freaking easy too. But that doesn't mean that it's easy. It's just easy to us because we have honed that skill set and built that skill set to be able to do what we do. So it's easy to us because that's who we're around. And I know people that can do it better than me. Some of it they can't, but that's irrelevant. The point is that I'm around a bunch of people that can do what I do. You're around a bunch of editors, Trevor. Taylor, you're around a bunch of appointment setters. You're around a bunch of computer IT guys and jiu-jitsu guys because that's what y'all do. And so what happens is everyone on the planet tends to undervalue themselves or not see the value in what they're doing because they're around a bunch of people that can do what they do. I posted a video, not a video, but a picture of a bottle of water. And it said, this bottle of water is only 50 cents. It's only 25% in a case at Walmart. But if you put this bottle of water in a Coke machine, it's worth $1. If you put this bottle of water in a hotel room, it's worth $2.50. Same bottle of water, same brand. If you put this bottle of water on an airplane, it's worth $5. If you put that bottle of water at a little thing right at the edge of the desert where there's no other stores, it's worth $10, $20, $30, $40, $50. So if you're around a group of people that don't see your value, change your place. If you're in a place that you don't feel valuable, change your place. It's crazy, right?
No, it makes sense. I get it. There's another saying, not about value, but it's basically the same thing. If you're the smartest person in the room, change the room. Like, you should be constantly trying to better yourself. If you're the best person in the room, get another room.
Dude, I just don't know, man. There's not very many people with like a 4 million IQ like me, man. You know?
That must have been when you got that good sleep from those vitamins.
You should just reach over and smack him, Trevor.
Man, screw that 140. Just kidding.
I'm scared to take my arm off if I tried to slap him.
I bite him. No, anyway, that's what my coaching's been about, and it's just been about making sure that you are making yourself valuable and showing your worth and charging what you're worth so that you can continue to do what you're trying to do. You know? Mm-hmm. I think it's important. Taylor's been helping me coach some of these people and lead them into like that. But that, to me, I think that's the biggest objection that I've had is making people change their prices or change what they're thinking. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I also see, because we've talked to a lot of people that already have an established business. And so I see a lot of, oh, well, I'm going to have someone complain about this, or I'm going to have this person be upset, and they're they have a very wishy-washy culture that the people in their gym almost feel like they're there to cater to them instead of there to learn jiu-jitsu. And it's hard to get them to be okay with, upsetting these people because they don't value them.
You're not going to please everyone.
Right. And that's but when you're just starting out and you need that income, it's like, oh, I can't lose this person. But it's hard to make them see, okay, you're going to lose this person, but you're going to gain 10 more because they're not good for your school. And for me, that's one of the other hardest parts. It's like, listen,
it's a good
they
point.
have a bad attitude.
That was actually my problem early on. That was me, what you're describing. I didn't even think about that. But that was the problem that I had early on. And I had to get past myself and get past them and learn that I'm in charge. Like,
right.
I'm creating this culture, no one else. If they don't like what we got going on, then they can kick rocks.
Right. And I think that's one of the hardest parts, which especially on like my side of things, because most of the time it's women that are doing the appointment setting and the closing, and we tend to be more passive. Like, it's like, oh, let me ask the owner, let me ask the head coach to kind of give into things a little bit. But it's hard to say, it's okay to say no. Like, it's your room, you're closing, like, this is what we're doing, you don't get to bully me type thing. And I think that happens a lot when schools open and they have things certain ways, because I know a lot of them are like, well, I'm going to make my schedule based on this person, or I'm going to make my charges based on this person. And when things start changing and they take back control of their lives, these people are upset. And it's okay to say, well, I'm sorry you're upset, but this is the way it is now. Like, we had to make some changes. So.
Going off of that, if you look at Hulu and Netflix, they show you just exactly how to run a business. They value themselves very much, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, we're raising our prices $10 more. See y'all later. You don't like it, hit the road.
They really do. They really do. Like, every year you'll get a notification that pops up, oh, yeah, you got to pay more.
Yeah, then both of them just did a price hike.
Yeah. And, you click OK. I doubt you have that many people.
I don't click OK. I just don't go in and delete. I delete the email without opening it.
Oh,
and I don't go in and change.
Mine pops up actually, like when I click on Netflix, it'll pop up that there's been a price change.
I get
like,
an email,
right, whatever,
and I see it like on the notification screen. Okay, cool, and
right, don't even think twice about it.
Because they do it by $1. They do it in dollar increments. So
and now
5
we
years
up
ago,
like
it was way cheaper.
It was $5.99.
And now we up to like $13.99.
Yeah, I'm about to blow y'all's mind. I had it when it was like, it was literally $5. It was like $4.99, and you could pick which 2 DVDs
they mailed them to you.
That you wanted mailed to you.
You don't blow my mind, because that's how I started. I didn't have satellite. I was trying to save money. So I had a little antenna. I got 5 channels, and I did the 2 DVDs at a time through Netflix. That was my entertainment for probably 2 years.
We used to go to Blockbuster all the time, or Movie Gallery. Like, we would go every weekend and get movies. And
I have a confession. I've never been in a Blockbuster in my entire life. I've been in a movie gallery, never a Blockbuster.
I don't think I've ever been in a Blockbuster, because we didn't have them around here.
Mm-mm.
We had them in Alabama.
There wasn't one here, but there was a movie gallery, and I loved movie gallery. I was there till it closed.
Movie gallery, when it was the best, was when it was over there by Food Line and Subway, because they had the game system still hooked up, and you get a free bag of popcorn. So Saturday or Sunday mornings, that was the grocery day, and I go with Mom, and at that time, like growing up, they didn't care. So 8, 9 years old. When you're done buying groceries, I'm at movie gallery, just get me when you're done. I just go there, get my bag of popcorn, play a game. The best thing was I knew one of the employees at one time, so she would put whatever game in I wanted.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real cool. See, I didn't never get into all that, but I was like 22 years old. I just got out of I just completed like basic or whatever, got home. I just got out of the military. Like, I wasn't in there long. I don't even claim military because I didn't do enough to claim military status. But I just got home. That was the very first time I ever had a movie gallery card. And I was like 22, 23 years old, something like that. That's how old I was before I ever got a movie gallery card. I'd never. My cousin Jason had one, and he would go rent movies when he would come down from Michigan, which was like twice a year. And I loved it when he come because I knew he was going to take me to movie gallery and like rent a game that I haven't played or rent a movie that I haven't seen. And we would get to watch a movie and I was talking about this today. My grandma had like Saturday morning cartoons, and she would put in a tape and record all the Ninja Turtles every Saturday on one tape, all of X-Men on one tape, all of Spider-Man on one tape, all of the Transformers on one tape. So like she would put in a different tape. This is the Ninja Turtle tape. This is the Transformer tape. And I only got to see her like twice a year. So when she would see me,
she'd have a whole bunch of tapes.
She'd have a box full of Ninja Turtle tapes in order. A box full of the X-Men, Spider-Man, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Transformers with Bumblebee and all that, like the cartoons. And that would be my entertainment for the year, because we didn't have whatever. So I would get home and watch one episode when I got out off the bus in the living room on the VCR. I would get to watch one episode, and then I'd have to do my homework. And that was like when my mom and dad were together and stuff. But so that was my entertainment. But anyway, I know that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, talking about a long time ago. Growing up, I remember I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I got an NES, a regular Nintendo, and I played it on a black and white TV.
Yep, I did too.
Yep,
dude. Ours had like these. It was like a little thing that you had to buy with 2 little wires.
I know what
that you put to the screws, and then you screw it into that.
Same thing. And I remember my neighbors. Like I was one of the first ones to get an NES, so they always wanted to play at my house. But then they got it, and they had color TVs.
So then you always wanted to play at their house.
I always wanted to go to their house. And when I saw some of my games that I had been playing for a year, 2 years on a black and white TV, and then I go to their house, I take my games with me, it blew my mind. Like I was accustomed, like games are black and white.
Yeah,
there's black and white.
Dude, we had an NES. I got a Super Nintendo. Like until I was about 8 years old, 7 or 8. Like I had a pretty good. I had it pretty good. Like I got to work with my Uncle Ronnie and do stuff, and my dad was a truck driver. So money for us. We weren't rich or nothing, but I had it pretty good. But then they divorced, and then it got really hard. We didn't have money. We didn't have anything. Like nothing. Like we went without power all the time. It was like it's crazy. But I had those games and stuff too. So, and I had a black and white, and then I went from black and white to a color, and it's like, oh my god!
Yes.
It's amazing.
I got a hand-me-down TV. Like when they finally like upgraded one of theirs, like in the bedroom or something, I finally got a color TV, like a small one. It was great.
Hell yeah, that's pretty cool. Taylor was spoiled rotten. She had a color DS, bro.
I feel very bad for the sentence that I'm about to say, just because, like, but I really did have a good childhood. Like, and it does.
Why do you feel bad about it?
Because it makes me feel spoiled, like hearing everyone else's stories.
Don't feel bad about that. Fuck them. I wish I would have had your life.
I was about to say, I feel
like your childhood.
Yeah, I fall between the two of y'all.
Yeah,
I feel like
I did. Which my parents. It took a while for them to get well off. He had just started, opened a new practice. So he didn't just start out making a bunch of money. So we were struggling. And I didn't even know that we were struggling until I was in my 20s and my mom told me. Like they made sure that I never went for anything.
And
Like,
see, I had a situation like that too, where I knew there was something going on, just because I knew my dad wasn't working. Like, he finally got fed up. He was a truck driver, and he just quit. Like, he got tired of them, and he quit. And so there was a time where, like, in middle school, where he would he was there, like, he took me to school every day, and I'm like, oh, Dad's home. Because usually truck driver, he was gone in the morning before I woke up. He'd come in at night after it was dark. But now he's taking me to school, picking me up, and he's home. And it was a minute before he found another job with another trucking company. So I know during that time, with him not working, I mean, being a kid, I didn't know how bad. I just knew it wasn't good. But I never was wanting. Like, I was provided for.
yeah.
But, like, we didn't have central heating and air. Like, we had a fireplace that hit the whole house. And we didn't run the AC unless it was 100 degrees. Other than that, we had box fans with the windows open.
With the windows.
That's how we lived.
See, we didn't. And
That
looking
shade
back,
Yeah,
Looking-
what?
Shade tree.
I don't know how they did it. And if they did, make sacrifices here and there, I didn't notice it. Like, I never noticed going without AC or, like, I mean, as a kid, they made me stay outside and play. I couldn't just come inside. So maybe they turned the AC off then. I don't know. But
First time I had, like, central heating and air, it wasn't even central heating and air. When my parents separated, I moved out and lived with my mom, and we had gas heat and electric air. We had gas heat still. Still wasn't like central heat and air, but we had the vents and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I never had a house that had vents. We didn't have that. So, like,
Dude, bro, my trailer had vents all in it, homie. They just didn't work because you got to have electricity.
so we never had vents because we didn't have central heating and air until we moved out. And I'm like, what's this? We got heat, but it was gas heat, which was good. But
hey, heat is heat.
it's heat.
Hey, we had those things that you mount on the wall and plug gas up to them.
So,
And you
Like
had
in
to,
our house right now?
Yeah. And then you like those that are still. We got an old house right now that we're living in.
Yeah.
They work, but we don't have gas going to them because we have central heat and air.
We don't
But
need-
they're still there. But those things, we had those.
yeah.
And
My dad got a couple of those installed about that time frame, like middle school, when he got that new job and stuff, and then they separated.
dude, you could take a propane tank from the gas station and hook that thing up. It'll last.
My Nana
$20.
had one of those.
You just hook them to the gas propane. Anyway, the point of it, all this story,
I said we would start reminiscing.
how we went all around all this, man, is make sure you're valuing yourself and you're setting yourself up to succeed. Do not undersell yourself, whether you're an editor, whether you're a jiu-jitsu school, MMA school, anything, pro athlete, whatever. Don't undersell yourself, because people tend to do that naturally and all the time. People tend to not see the value in themselves, and then it messes them up to that point that they start underselling themselves, and they're struggling to make ends meet because they don't see the value in what they're capable of doing. That's my chat for today. Bam has been working with the kids and getting them ready for the Strange Matter Invitational.
Yes, sir. Spent a lot of time today on a certain position just because I knew that could happen at Strange Matter.
I know that this thing is long. We're probably not going to have everybody watching all the way to the end, but I do want you guys to comment and talk about what your thoughts are about the weight classes and the age limits, because we're running into issues. I want to fill this thing up with the best kids in the world, and I want the best kids in the world to compete in this. I feel like people are reluctant because we don't have as many brackets or rules or whatever, because you might have a kid that's 90 pounds that is 13 years old going against a 90-pound kid that is 9 years old. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on like the age difference, even though they're in the same weight classes. And what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because we're running into that now. And me personally, I just want to see the best. I got a kid that's
Jimmy.
What? Yeah, that's Trevor's. Just kind of set it back up.
I'm not important. It's all right.
Oh, yeah, important.
It just died like it went off.
No, turn it. It's going black because your hand's in the way. Will it balance?
I think the battery died in it.
The battery died in the gimbal. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're about to kill it. Get off here. What I was saying was we're having trouble with the invitational because we wanted to be the best of the best kids, but we want it to be as fair as possible. But we also don't want to limit it so much that it turns into what we have now. And I don't know exactly how to answer those issues, other than to say, like, if you're gonna be the best as a kid or whatever, you just gotta train to be the best. Because how old is he? 9 or 10? Like
Something like that.
We got a 9 or 10-year-old that is phenomenal.
11.
Huh?
11.
Is he 11?
11.
Wow, he's getting old.
5th grade. That's all I know.
6th grade.
6th grade. The other one's 5th grade.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not just gonna put exactly who it is out there, but he cares. This kid absolutely cares, and he's at every class that he's allowed to be at. He's at every program like that. He's in every program that we offer. He's at every class that he could possibly be in, and it shows. And he's super competitive with people that you're like, man, he is young. He shouldn't be that competitive with these other people. And that's what makes me think that the age isn't important. It's about how much they care about it. That's why I'm trying to make them just match weight classes. But what are you guys' thoughts? Like, what do you think we should separate it as? Because if we start splitting hairs and saying, oh, well, it's going to be 10 to 11-year-old, then we're starting to get into this niche where we're limiting who can be in it. And I just want all the best kids within a certain weight to show up. I don't care how old they are. I don't care how long they've been training. I want to see them do good. What are y'all's thoughts on that? You guys here.
It's a tough one.
Hey, my thoughts on it are you run into the issues of where you have like kids like me who, when I was 11, I was over 100 pounds already. Like, I've always been a huge kid, like just big and tall. So if you have a 100-pound kid that's the same age as like a kid that's 70 pounds and the same thing, you run into an issue of where like they won't be able or strong enough to push them off, and it runs into more of a thing of that. That's my thoughts.
Are you going to play cameraman, Bam?
Maybe. Will it help?
We'll just get another little tripod or whatever for that one.
There, it's on you.
But
I don't know. I think age itself doesn't necessarily matter, but I do think that it matters if they train with kids versus if they train with adults, because we have some of our kids that are still kids, but they train in our adult class, and it's a different level of training. Like, our adults roll every single night, whereas our kids don't. So I think that plays a factor in, like, if they're not allowed to train with adults, then it's not fair for them to compete against someone that is allowed to train that hard, if that makes any sense. But I also see, like, we do have kids staying late and rolling. Like, they make time to train that hard. So I think it's hard. I think we just have to play with it, like, and figure out what works.
It is. Like, it's splitting hairs regardless. I mean, it's just going to have to draw a line somewhere. Because I really don't know. This is one of them things I really don't know the answer to. I would like to hear other people's opinions and give me options to choose from.
Like, oh, that one sounds the best.
Hey, that's pretty. Hey, can we mix both these two? These two sound great. Let's mix these two ideas. Like, let's do something like that. This is one of those, I'm not going to give you a viable solution just myself.
Right. That's what I said. When we were talking about it last night, I said, did you ask Bam Bam? He said, not yet. I said, I'm not in this by myself.
Because, like, the one... So, like, the issue that we actually had this time, the one individual, she trains in the adult class, that she is in the lower weight class, she would do great, like destroy these kids. But we know this, and we know she can compete at a higher level. So get her to compete at the higher weight class where she'll be at the bottom of the bracket, but knowing that she'll do well. So I mean,
well, here's the thing. I want, as her coach, I want her to test her mettle. I want her to see where she stacks up. I don't want her to be a sandbagger. But we also don't know these other kids that are going to show up.
We don't.
We may have another her show up for that weight class, and now that other her is going to wreck the kids and not have a challenge at all. And so that's the problem that I'm having, is because the kids that want it, they roll.
Yeah.
And they roll just as much as the adults. The kids that want it. We have about 5-6 kids that are showing up to an extra competition class and that always ask a roll.
Today.
Yeah, we did have 10, but on average it's 5 to 6. It's about the same.
There's about 6 of them.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, is that those kids get after it. We have 60 something kids right now, or 80. I don't even know how many kids we got right now. We got like 60 kids in our program, and in our program, out of the 60 kids, we have 6 that take it serious, that really want to be world beaters, and they find the time and the opportunity to roll. Yes. Every time they find it, and they roll hard, and they roll harder than some of our adults. Some of our adults don't even roll. Some of our adults have only rolled like 5 times since they've been here, and some of them's been here for years. They do not stay after class and roll. And for me, that's okay, because they're getting out of it something different than what we're getting out of it. Not everybody's a competitor, and that's okay. But I don't want to see one of the kids that could do better just come in and just completely destroy the other kids. But then that stands a reason. Should those kids be competing in this type of tournament? Because this tournament is for the best.
I don't know.
That's where my questions are coming in. Like, what are we going to do?
This is your tournament, sir.
Right. And I don't want to make it about being fair. I want to make it about being the best in your weight class. But then it comes down to, like a 16-year-old boy is going to be stronger and more developed than a 12-year-old boy. But if they're weighing the same damn thing, let's say the 12-year-old boy has been training since he was 6 years old, and the 16-year-old's only been training a year. Who are we to say who is better in that outcome?
Yeah.
What if the 16-year-old boy has been training for 6 years and the other kid's been training for 5? Now he has an advantage by a year. And where do we draw the line? Where do we say we're going to try to force the rules to be fair, versus where do we say, well, who's the best at this weight?
I don't know. I know that one, the kid you're mentioning is a G. Like, he doesn't even make weight in the lower weight class, and he's like, yeah, I want to compete anyway.
Yeah, he asked me could he compete in the heavier weight.
He's like, yeah, like, can I just hold a 5-pound weight, 10-pound weight?
I told him. So I straight up told him, I was like, dude, if you're lighter, I'm not against it. If you want to enter into the heavier weight class, I'm not against it.
No, that's him trying to test his.
I said, when you weigh in, just make sure you got change or something in your pocket so you make weight.
And that was when I came on, like, hold on, what did you just tell him?
What? And my response was, what? What are you talking about?
But that's one of them situations
I had to do that.
Yeah, well, we're running it. No one's going to get hurt, but it's a legit tournament, a legit competition. As long as, like, he knows, his parents knows, like, he doesn't weigh as much. Like, he is at a disadvantage already. He still wants to do it. By all means, your game. Like, you want the experience, you want to get tested, do it. As long as you know what you're getting into. That's all I got to say.
But what about the kids' parents that they want to see their kid do well, and then there's a kid like we'll use Davion. We got Davion competing in the heavier weight. That kid trains every day and has trained every day for a while. What do we tell the kid that's been training half as long that is in that weight class that wants to enter into this tournament? what do we tell that kid's parents when that other kid just runs through them and just murks them? Like, what do we say? Like, we're sorry that he beat the shit out of your kid. Like, my bad.
We say, get good.
Get good. That's the problem, is like, we're running into these things that
This is what you wanted. I mean,
I want the best.
so
And it's like an absolute division. We don't need to do it as in like, okay, well, he's been training a year versus 5 years, because that's how they do it at New Breed or Naga.
And I don't want to get into all that. I just want them to be able to do a sub-only tournament, show up and see where they need to, the ones that aren't doing as well, where they need to improve, and the ones that don't need to improve, or that they always need to improve, but the ones that are at the top of that, like, hey, let's bump you up and go, let's try a harder division next time or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to see that happening. I don't want to see people sandbagging to destroy the I don't want to see people sandbagging or showing up like, yeah, I'm at the very top of this weight and the oldest that you can be in this group, and I've been training 3 million times longer than all these other years longer than these other people.
when you say that, like sandbagging, all I can think of is that one tournament we went to and watched that one kid. Like, it would have beat me. Like, it was clean. Like, the match lasted, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds?
I don't know. That kid was doing stuff. I was like, that kid has been training.
Like, he shot in or did like a fireman's carry, hopped up, knee on belly, arm bar, match over. Like, I mean, it was just that smooth, quick transition, done. Like, it was
nice.
crazy.
It was.
And I think he was a gray belt white stripe or something. Like,
he was in beginners.
I'm like, nah.
He literally entered in beginners, and this kid fireman carried somebody to an arm bar.
I'm like, he is not a beginner. I call bullshit, sir.
I've only been training 2 months. The cleanest fireman carry on planet
2 months,
Earth.
8 hours a day.
Anyway, I don't know where to draw the line. I kind of want help. I kind of want people commenting. It's kind of like people that are letting their kids compete. Let's talk about it. I want this tournament to be legit, but I also want it to be fair enough that it's competitive. But if I feel like if we put too much on it.
Well, don't do like all these other ones, like 10, 11-year-old, 12, 13-year-old.
I don't want to do that.
No, but would you do like teenager, like do 13 to 16, 12 and under? I mean, is that an option?
Yeah, but then you got a 12-year-old that might be going against a 7-year-old. Like, how old is Well, I don't want to do that on the podcast.
No.
I truly think that we're just gonna have to play with it and see what works.
I don't think there's no way to make it work. That's the problem. Is I don't think that there's no way to make. Trevor, when you were 7 years old, how heavy were you? Like, be honest.
I'm trying to think.
Were you over 100 pounds?
I wasn't over 100 pounds, but I was like 90 or something. Like, I looked like 3 grades older than me.
Okay, so at 7 years old, he was let's just say 90 pounds. Now, a 90-pound 7-year-old, that means longest he could have been training is 2 years. Nowhere accepts kids. There's maybe 1 or 2 places, but probably started when he was 5 years old, right? Mm-hmm. If he trained 2 years hard for 2 years, and then he goes against a 12-year-old that's been training for a year, who do you think wins that match? Let's be realistic. Who do you think wins the match? The 12-year-old? Why? Why does a 12-year-old win? They're more developed. They have a better attention span. They have more advantages. Their understanding is higher. So that's the problem that I'm having with the tournament, is I don't want to make it unfair that way. But I also don't want to run an all-day tournament.
Yeah.
I want it to be 2 divisions, and I want to have enough people interested that we can make it a fun tournament like we do Fridays here.
Hold on.
Do you know how we do our Fridays?
Yes.
Our Fridays, we run 60-something kids in an hour every Friday. And we go through it, and then we have 3 champions at the end of that hour. Why can we not make it fair like that on a Strange Matter Invitational?
So, okay, hold on. Being the bad guy, devil's advocate, whatever you want to say it, make people mad. You're throwing these situations out there, and a lot of it has to do with weight. The kids sign up for the Strange Matter, want the best in the world. Are they going to be that out of shape?
They shouldn't be.
I was about to say. And then if they do come out of shape, that's a realization like, hey, maybe like not just training is the thing. Like I need to, if I want to do this, I need to change the lifestyle. I need to watch what I eat, stuff like that.
Right. And if you do lower weight classes, then you're going to have younger kids, higher weight classes,
you would
older
expect,
kids.
That's what I was expecting.
Right.
That's what I was expecting was lower weight classes, younger kids. Well,
which is how it worked last time. It's just this time.
Well, this time
it's weird.
This time is weird because of girls.
Yeah.
And girls throw a curveball in there because girls are lighter. The older girls are lighter than the boys.
Yeah.
But I don't want to separate the girls from the boys. Or should I separate the younger girls from the younger boys? That's another thing, because last time we had a bunch of girls. We had a girl almost beat the crap out of everybody last time.
Yeah, she was
good.
It
literally come down to 5 seconds from her being the champion.
She was good.
She was good. And I don't want to steal that from her. I want her to be able to go home and tell her mom and dad that she beat up a boy.
How much she weigh? Like she just same as the other one. Like
she
maybe
was 80 pounds.
I say maybe she can get some roller quarters and compete in this one too.
Yeah, she was 80 pounds. She was 80 pounds. But that's the thing but now the problem is that we have a girl that is 15. She's 15, wanting to enter into this tournament. And then we got a bunch of 10 and 11-year-old boys in this tournament.
Maybe the solution is just separating it by 12 and under and 13 to 16. Because, I mean, kids, or something like that. Maybe not those exact ages.
So, this doesn't solve anything, but 2 answers I got for you is you're not going to please everyone, and you're going to have to draw a line in the sand.
Right. And I want the best in the world competing at my tournament. And I think the only way we're going to do that is if we try to stop things like this to the best of our ability, whatever that looks like. Because I need to get that on point. We got to find that formula. That's why I'm asking people, like, what do we do?
Well, let's see after you post this one what people say. Which this one will be posted like the day before.
Oh, it's posted now.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
One mistake that we made is we didn't record. Because usually I start recording, then I post it on Anchor.
So it's just live?
It's just live. So now I'm going to have to either download it from YouTube and then separate the audio.
Dang it, Trevor.
Or
I didn't know. Gosh.
Or
I missed the live lesson last time.
Yeah. It's fine.
You get a pass because you were sick.
Yeah. Damn COVID. Anyway, I wanna know what the world thinks about our tournament and what they think the answer is. So you guys let us know. Answer the damn question. I'm just kidding. And if you guys got any suggestions, we really would appreciate it. And we're starting to do some coaching and stuff to help people build and grow their own schools. So let us know if you guys want some help with that stuff and all, because I have several people that I have been mentoring and coaching and helping this week. And I'm looking to continue to do that because I enjoy it. I really do enjoy helping people. I actually have 2 people that I'm helping with their own personal business outside of the gym. And then I have 3 other gym owners that I've been helping. Guys, trust me when I tell you I can help you grow and start having a lifestyle that you want, or the lifestyle that you need versus what you have. Anyway, that's Coach Jimmy, Coach Bam, Coach Taylor, Trev.
Got the camera back working.
Got his camera back working right at the end. Because you know why? Because Trevor, you matter.
Speaking of that, I have something to tell you. My pay needs to be increased to $20 an hour.
He values himself.
He does. He does value himself. It's not near enough, Trevor. It's not
Taking
near
your
enough.
advice.
Yeah, it's not near enough, Trevor.
If he won't pay, someone else will.
Trevor, it's worth it, buddy. It's so worth it. But we're gonna have to talk about this later.
All right.